Hello friends, welcome back to 8 Moon Phases. My name is Chivis and today we're going to be working on a quilting project. Now, don't get too excited. It's not a whole quilt that I'm going to make today. It is just one singular quilt block. As I was finishing up my mom's quilt back in December, I started looking at all this inspiration and I found one particular block. Even though I do like the whole quilt itself, I really kind of just gravitated towards this one block. I'll show you guys a picture right here so you guys can see it. I love coffee. I love coffee. Now, the idea for this quilt block is to just be a decorative piece. It's not as a mat. It's just simply as something that I can hang on the wall and have available. I will not be using Christmas colors, as a matter of fact, but I just really like the construction of it and how it looks. And I kind of want to just bring it to life and have it as a decoration. Before we get into talking about all of this quilt and my plans for quilting, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and enable that notification bell. That way you guys will be notified every time that I upload a video. And if at any point throughout this video you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button. It helps a lot and it is free. Let's go ahead and get started. So as I was finishing my mom's quilt this past December, I just started looking at ideas, just kind of trying to remember how I had pieced it together, what it is that I had made. So before my mom's quilt, I had made one for my sister. I will look for pictures, and if I have them available, I'll put them up here. I know that I have like progress pictures, but I don't have a picture of the full completed quilt. So I never made one for myself. And as I was looking through inspiration, I know that I had bought a charm pack, and a charm pack is just the smaller squares of fabric. There's like the ones that come pre-cut are either a jelly roll or they are the fat quarters or the quarter of the charm packs. And the charm packs that I had bought, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some prints in the other sewing videos because I had them laying on the floor because I just ever since I decided that I wanted to make a quilt for myself, and now in this case I want to make two, I started trying to piece them together, trying to combine them. Let me go ahead and grab it so you guys can see it. Alrighty, so the first quilt that I want to consider making, and again, would be as a whole full quilt, not a full king size or a full size, maybe just like a twin size or something along I don't know the exact measurements, but something not too big, not too small. I don't know. So this is the pack, right? Let me show you guys print by print. This is one of them. And I kind of paired it up with this one. So I just kind of went along and paired the colors that would stand out. So this would be one of the pairs. I also have this one that would pair with this one. And together, this is how they would look, more or less. And this is if I were to combine these colors together, right? I still have not decided what design I want to make. I'm so indecisive and it's taking me forever to try to figure out what pattern it is that I want to make. So this is the other one. This is the other combination. And I've seen a few. I've seen just like the basic stars. I've seen the disappearing 9 squares. I've seen 9 squares. I've seen hearts. I just last night I was looking through and I saw one that was called Cat Eye, I believe. And it looks really cute, but I don't know. I'm still undecided. The reason I like that one, sorry, this is the next combination, and then this would be the final one. So all of these charms came in a pack together, and I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to combine them is. So it's a really nice spread of like salmony blue colors. And there's pattern prints, there's floral prints, and there is no solids. However, I would have to bring in a solid as a background color. That's my idea. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I'm just trying to figure out what pattern it is that I want to make with that. I don't know if I want to, bring in a lot of background fabric. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. I don't know how to start combining it. I don't know. So that's the only reason I haven't started that quilt is because I haven't felt comfortable starting or have a design that I really want to start with. The next pattern I would like to complete before the end of the year is a more of a wintry one. And I wanted it to start this last December. However, I just had too much to do and I couldn't find the time. So this is a jelly roll that I found or bought at Joann's. RIP, when it was still open. And again, a lot of it is just a very snowflakey. Um, Look at all these. They mostly have either trees or snowflakes. This pattern is really, really cute. It also came with this one. So I bought this one to try to kind of offset it and make it feel as part of the pack, because this one kind of feels like it's the leftover one, like the left out stepchild. It came with this fabric, and I found a very, if you guys can see, it's a little bit glittery right about there. Perfect. And I found this one at Walmart that is very, very similar. So if I were to need more of this, you guys notice there, it's very, very similar. If I were to need more, then I definitely have this pack available. And that kind of ties in these two glittery ones. Also, this is the only one that has that same glitter effect. Not as much as a white, but it does have a little bit of a shine. And then lastly, it has, I believe I already showed you that one, this one. So again, it's that combination of gold and blue and white, which I really, really enjoy. And I want that one because of the pattern of the fabric. I would like to make something snowflake related. And I have seen a few patterns. I've seen a few tutorials that I might just venture into trying. However, I guess what kind of confuses me a little bit is knowing like they're starting either with a 10-inch squares or cut fabric that they have to cut on their own and not an actual jelly roll. So I know that I can make it work. I just haven't given myself that mental capacity to get there because there's other projects that I've been trying to finish or wanting to finish. So yeah, those are my plans for this year. I do want to get at least those 2 quilts done, and I know that I haven't made another quilt that I want to make for my dad, but that's a whole other fabric that I would need to look for and just kind of ask him what colors he likes or what he wants. Hopefully before the end of the year we can get to those. However, if they're not started, we're not fully committing to finishing them, right? If we start them, then we know we have to get them done before the end of the year. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and jump into the project that we want to start today. As you guys saw, the picture is a coffee cup. I love coffee. I have coffee every day, every morning. When I don't have coffee, I get a headache. Some call it an addiction. I just call it survival, you know? So I'm going to show you guys what I have. I have this gray. All this fabric I got at Walmart. Unfortunately, my Michaels or the Michaels that I've been to does not have a great selection. Hobby Lobby is a little bit further than I would like for it to be. So when I have quick projects or things that I do that I want to do quickly, or something simple, I usually just go to Walmart, right? Until I get other chances to explore or further into the other parts of the city. So I have this gray print that I was going to be using for the little smoke that's coming up. I have this white with a little bit of texture that is going to be my background fabric. So everything that is not part of the mug is going to be this color. And now I really, really, really liked this fat quarter bundle that I found. So I had been looking for a while. I had a few fat quarters that I had gathered together, trying to combine colors, trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to see. And as I was, walking down the aisle, and I came to an area where they have different prints or different types of quarter bundles, and I found this one. So I really, really fell in love with this particular color and this color combination. So these 2 colors I think look fantastic. I really, really, really love them, as well as the yellow. So as you can tell, blue is my favorite color, and I really, really also enjoy yellow. Fun fact, my soccer team's colors are blue and yellow. Not doing it because of that though. However, I love this print. I really, really, really enjoyed this print as well as this one. And obviously you can't go wrong with squares. So this is what I'm going to be using. I'm still debating if I'm going to add something else. I know that I have solid blues and solid yellows. So if I need more fabric, I do have something to fill the color in with. So I need to plan it out a little bit more. I might make like a little mock-up just with the prints to see how it looks. But if I do, then I'll show you guys the process of that. For now, let's go ahead and get started. I do need to iron all of my fabrics first. So that's what I'm going to do. And then once I'm ready to start cutting, once I've set up the mock-up, if I decide to make one, then I'll go ahead and bring you guys over so we can start the cutting of our fabric. Hey friends, good morning. So this morning, I'm usually not a morning person on the weekends, but I have a 10K race this morning and very nervous, very scared, very excited. Done it before, but every time it's different. But yeah, I will not be recording during the race because I don't have those skills yet. But I'll see you guys at the end. So I'm back. I survived. Everything went great. I actually felt pretty good. I just kept telling myself, you paid for this, you can't complain. So I did finish. I did not meet my goal. My goal was to do it under an hour. However, I finished. So that is very exciting. And yeah, I'll probably do it next year again. Now, I have one more race this year for now. But you'll hear about that later. So I can't remember exactly where I left off on the last clip, but I have made all my calculations. I believe I said that I was going to do a mock-up. I didn't. I just kind of wrote out the colors, whoopsies, that I was going to use. And I have all my fabric, my cutting board, and we're going to go ahead and get started with cutting. Good news, I was able to find the pattern online. It is by Moda Fabrics, and it is under their free pattern tab. And the pattern is called In From the Cold, I believe. And it's just a set of different mugs. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started in cutting. Alrighty, so it doesn't look like much, but now that we have all of our squares cut, we have to go and sew them. These here that are overlapping, they're going to be little corners. This way, diagonals. These are all diagonals, this one, and then these, which is what's supposed to be the smoke. Yeah, let's go and put it all together. Alrighty, so I'm going to be doing row by row. I currently have the bottom, which is the saucer, and the bottom shape of the mug. And then the next part is the middle part of the mug and the handle. And then the top part is just the white with the smoke. So we're going to go ahead and be working layer by layer. And then at the end, we'll just put it all together. So I do need to switch out my thread. I currently have pink and we will not be using pink. I think I'm going to be using white just for joining all of the pieces. And then once we quilt it, then we'll go ahead and pick another fun color. I probably won't record much when I'm sewing because the phone is attached to the table, and usually when I'm sewing, the sewing machine shakes the whole thing. But we'll give it a try. If it works out, then I'll continue to record. If not, then you guys know why. Yeah, definitely is a little bit shaky. However, I will keep you updated. Fear not. So this is what we have so far. We are going to have to trim this area here. And then from here, we press it open. And then we have our little diagonal corner that we needed. Just like this. So we're going to do the same thing with this yellow one. And then this one will be attached at the bottom. And then the last white square at the end. This is where we are so far. We have the saucer. We have the bottom of the mug. I did switch it out. Originally I had this as the bottom, but I cut out another piece of this one because I just kind of, I don't know, in my head made sense because the saucer is going to be the dark blue, so I just kind of wanted it to connect. But yeah, so this is how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and work through the rest of the block, and then I'll bring you guys back once the top is all completed. Yes, I am pressing as I go. Yes, I'm leaving the seams in the back. And all this is going to be trimmed up and looking great by the time we have it completed. So I'll bring you guys back once all of it is done. Are you ready for the update? I am very, very, very satisfied with how it turned out. I really enjoyed making it. It is a very forgiving quilt block. And I think in general, the quilt, again, it is a series of mugs that you can make, and it's supposed to be Christmassy, but I just really liked how it turned out. I would definitely, if you're into quilting, definitely suggest that you go and look up the pattern or just look at the page there. As I was scrolling to find this actual pattern, I saw a whole bunch of other ones that I want to try, and just getting back into the habit of creating the tops. I know that I worked on my mom's quilt, but that was just I was already sandwiched. I just needed to quilt it and bind it, which was fairly simple. And from then to having to actually create a quilt top, it had been quite a while. But without further ado, here is the reveal of the top. Again, it's not quilted yet. It's just the top. I need to sandwich it. I'm probably going to add a border to it first. I'm not sure what border I want to add to it yet. I was thinking of just a solid blue maybe. And then I think for the back, I'm going to use the one that's this design, but the lighter fabric of it. Hopefully it's enough. I think it is. I need to measure it because it is a fat quarter. I would need to measure to see if I have enough. But yeah, I might do a dark blue border and then just do a solid yellow binding. It got me inspired. I think I definitely want to do the whole quilt with the mugs, or again with these squares. I've been asking around. I think I'm gonna go back and look into the Moda Fabrics page to see what I can find in making these. I think the biggest I guess fear-ish is not having enough fabric, starting something. But I know at the end of the day, a quilt, it could be a scrappy quilt. It doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah, definitely I need to look into getting to work on this one, which this might be a bigger series because it's going to be the whole quilt. So I may do just one cutting the fabric and then putting it together. And then once we start doing the rest of it, like a mini series of 2 or 3 episodes. But yes, definitely. I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this quilt for a little bit. It is a little bit late right now, but I'm going to do a little bit more as much as I can. And hopefully by tomorrow, I will have somewhat of a semi-finished or close to finished piece. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have somewhat officially, well, no, I guess if it's somewhat, it's not officially. It is not 100% complete. However, I just need the last step, which is sewing the binding strip on the back. But this is what it turned out to be. I like it. What do you guys think? Take a look. I know it's not perfect by any means, but it was a good template to kind of get back into the quilting of it. And obviously now I want to go and make a whole quilt. But yes, we did it. This was a backing. We did have enough. We actually had a little bit of fabric left over. Need to finish clipping this side, and that'll be done. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Should I attempt at making it the full quilt? I believe it's 9 different mugs, and then it has a little border to it. But let me know if I should. Also, if you have any suggestions of what pattern I could use for this charm pack, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with this one. I'm still undecided, so I might just start the snowflake one before I start this one, but I shall see. Now that I found the web page where I was able to find this pattern, I might just go through and see what I can find. Obviously, I'm going to need some background fabric, so that may be just the filler that I need to be able to complete the pattern that I want to make. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Follow along in the journey of my crafting endeavors. I do have a crochet project coming up, as well as another cross stitch. That was the big surprise. It is a pattern that I bought and I am obsessed, and I want to get started as soon as possible. So I may do that tomorrow since I don't work. And that may be the start of the new videos on Thursday. Yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.